Good evening. It's Friday. I've been busy buying stuff, but I thought I'd just go through a teeny little bit of my brewing history. See how interesting it is. We have a cat here as well, and the cat. Let's see the cat. The cat is 16 years old. She's older than all my kids. I think she's been here all the time as well for that as well. She's obviously very involved and needs to go down the floor now. Anyway, let's have a quick peek and go back and see, because I think it tells a bit of a history. Okay, so let's start with this very humble demijohn. This is a gallon. I assume it's a English gallon. It's about 4.5 litres. And most people in the UK use these for fermenting ciders and wines generally. And we get these airlocks, pop them in there, and that's how we do it. I think I can remember right back to when I was young, a good 40 odd years ago. My parents were using them, and these demijohns do actually keep the price quite well. I mean, you can go to a shop now and buy these, and you can buy them, sell these, and they just last for years. They're made of glass. Obviously this one's a little bit dirty at the moment, but hey ho. But yeah, okay, well, never did any beer with these, but I'm sure it's quite possible. You do actually get a darker colour. You get a kind of brown colour one of these, which obviously it's more for doing red wines and also perhaps get a beer as well. So yeah, that's how I started off. Started doing lots of blackberry wine. I think I did a few ciders in these bottles. But yeah, so I moved on to doing home brewing. Let's have a look at the next stage. So here it is. My very first brewing bucket. There's a few pictures of beer on the side. It's actually a Young's. Young's, I think they're a very big UK brand for homebrew. I may have even bought this from a Boots. The Boots are the chemist people over in the UK, and I'm assuming that this came with a few bits inside. As ever, I did a bit of calibration on it, but now it's pretty much resigned to just storing grain and just storing any of the junk I want to use. I would never obviously use this again for doing fermentation, because it's quite scratched, and yes, it's nice. I hang on to it. It's just a container, and always comes in handy. So let's look at let's go to the next stage, shall we? And it's another bucket. I like this bucket. I did my last brew on it. Well, that's the same thing. It's not sealed at the top or anything. There's no little holes in the top. I've seen quite a lot of the ones in the American buckets have holes in. I haven't actually bothered drilling a hole in there. I think it's been quite a new occurrence where people have had airtight fermentation vessels over here in the UK. Yes, I think I've recalibrated this one as well. But yeah, I like this bucket too. I think yeah, but I think I wanted to have something which was a bit more sterile. Something I can, well, seal up a bit more and actually be confident nothing is actually getting in there. And the seals on these aren't that good. So, yeah, so I think I bought this from either a shop called Wilco or even a shop called The Range. But obviously you can see it's branded with some company there, which I would honestly say I've never really ever bought. I don't actually know the name of that company. But yes, let's move along. So here we are. This is one of the brew buckets or brew containers that you actually buy from Wilko's. It's moved on quite well, really. I like this one. It's got nice sturdy carrying handles. It's got a good top on it, which you can hang on. Sorry about this. It's actually got a, I think it's a silicone seal on the inside here, and yeah, you can get a bung in there, and you can get an airlock as well, which is great. But perhaps I would rather have a blow-off tube. I mean, you can have some quite vigorous brews in here, but I generally, I mean, I think I had one or two blow-offs in this, but nothing really that bad, because I mean, I normally only do about 23 litres, and that's quite a lot of headspace, but it can happen. But I like these. You can get your hand right inside, get them a good clean out, but also when it's all sealed up, you obviously got the confidence that it's actually sealed up properly. I actually was using this a few months ago, and I was using had a brew fridge, and I was using this airlock, and with this in here and in my old brew fridge, it was just about high enough to oops, not going to use those anymore. It was just about high enough, it was just about high enough to actually get in my brew fridge, but my fermentation fridge. But unfortunately now the new one I've got, it's just too high, so I'm going to have a bit of a rethink, and on to the next stage. I think hopefully it might be the kind of final stage for a while. One thing to point out actually is that I bought a thermowell, and I was actually experimenting with a raspberry or a brew pie, and I actually had a thermowell in there, and so I could obviously take the temperature and keep the fermentation at the right temperature. One thing I did find is that I fitted a thermowell on there, and it actually did leak a bit, and the seal was very awkward to get to grips with. So wasn't quite happy with it, but as I said, I just moved on. So basically, that's been my plastic age of me, and I've had a grainfather now for quite a while, and I thought, well, like all brewing guys, we all want to be able to get something which is not plastic, shiny steel. So this is what I bought. I wanted something which was maybe high enough, so I can get in my my little fermentation fridge, which you might have seen me setting up a few weeks ago. I wanted something which had a blow tube on it. That's fed up with these poxy little bubblers, so just old stuff. You don't want to use that anymore. People, they're just a pain in the arse. You have to wash them out all the time and sterilise them, and you pick up your brew bucket and it all gets sucked back in again, and it's just too much. And it's not what's used professionally. And plastic, it's impervious so much to oxygen, but not 100%. It's prone to holding infection if you don't clean it well. It scratches, and all it takes is that little scratch, and then a few months down the line, a few weeks down the line, when you're drinking your beer, the beer goes off, and you just start getting these little flavours in there. So, right, shiny steel, I think that's the way forward. Let's see what I've got here. See what we've got here. This is my new brew pot, my fermentation chamber actually. What we've got here, this is a 33 litre brew pot by Brew Builder. It's got tri-clamp connections at the top, at the bottom, and at the top. And at the bottom here I've got a half-inch connector, and I fitted a thermowell into it because I want to obviously stick this in my fermentation fridge, and I'm going to shove a thermometer into there. And at the top I've got a 90 degrees barbed connection on a sort of a tri-clamp connection here, and this is obviously going to go to a blow tube. It's got clamps on the sides, it's got carrying handles, it's about 35mm high, 35mm wide, and it has it's obviously sealed on the inside here with a gasket, which I assume is silicone, and I'm just sterilising it now so I can use it for fermenting tomorrow. Okay, so I'm quite happy with this. It fits inside my brew fridge. Hopefully it'll be good to keep nice and clean. It'll obviously, the sterility will last for quite a long time, and yeah, quite happy. Okay, if you want to know more, you can actually go and see Mark, who obviously goes by the alias of Mr. Lard, and he actually runs this company called Brew Builder, and the website is more or less the same. If you Google for Mr. Lard or Google for Brew Builder, you'll actually find the website. I actually picked this up personally from him, from Mark, but if you're after something, anything very specific, or any other connections, because obviously this connection here wasn't on his website, but he had it. So if you send him, ring him an email, tell him exactly what you want, and I'm sure he will actually come up with the goods. Also, we're pointing out that this is obviously a 33mm one. He does a 33 litre one. He'll do a 50 litre one as well for you. Okay, sorry about that. The washing machine's just going, but there we are. Okay, well, that's the end of my series. Let's see. I'll be doing another brew. I'll be doing a brew with this over the weekend. I'm going to do a wheat beer tomorrow, and we can see how it goes then. Bye.